Hi guys, it's Becca, and as you can see, I am solo. I've got no Sarah, I've got no Paul, I've got no Sammy, I've got no Chris. I am solo. And that's because Nerdy Up North got sent a screener for 40 Acres, and I was lucky enough to be given the opportunity to watch it. So thank you, Vertigo, for sending us the screener for 40 Acres, because this is not a film that I would have normally watched. Because of the world of 40 Acres. But I am so glad that I did, because this film was absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed every single second of it. And yeah, it's a great film. And the world of 40 Acres is basically it's set in a harsh post-collapse future. 40 Acres drops us into a world where the old systems, government, commerce, even basic laws no longer apply, and they've crumbled. What remains of small pockets of survivors, most of them hungry, desperate, and violent, fertile land is no longer just valuable, it's life itself. But this film isn't just a flashy dystopia full of gadgets and urban ruin. It's quiet, it's rural, it's grounded. And the family in this film, the Freeman family, it's a farm and it feels like a fortress, but it's both physical defences and emotional walls that they've built to survive. There's a constant sense of danger throughout this film, outside of the electronic fences, even though the world they've created is hauntingly lonely. And it's such a fascinating film. The film creates tension in such unique ways. This discussion is going to be very spoiler free, because I highly encourage everyone on the 1st of August to go see this, or download it on the 4th of August, because it is such a great film. It uses silence. Instead of music, it uses silence to create tension, and I absolutely love that in a film. Vertigo, thank you very much for releasing this opportunity, because I really just enjoyed this film. You've got the Freeman family at the core of this. You've got Hayley Freeman, who is played by the absolutely amazing Danielle Deadweiler. She's the engine of the family. She's a former soldier. She's an absolute formidable presence. She's calm under pressure. She's utterly unflinching and strategic, and she's also so deeply human. Her commitment to keeping her family safe borders on an obsession, and the movie asks subtle questions about whether her methods preserve her family or control it. Then you have Galen, who is her counterpart. Her partner offers a very, very quiet counterpoint to her. He's equally just as capable, but there's a lot more softness to him. And then you have their children, especially Emmanuel, who is the oldest, who features a lot heavily in the film, more than the sisters. There's a generational trauma, and tension, and these kids have grown up in a hardened world, but they absolutely crave the world that we all know, our world currently. And there are so many themes that are brought up in this film. There's survival versus humanity. How much of yourself can you give up before survival isn't worth it? This film treads carefully, showing both how necessary and how hard the price could be for the choices that they make. As I said, there's generational trauma, but there's also resilience. The farm isn't just a setting in this film. I just want to highlight that it's an absolute symbol. It's a legacy, echoing historical injustice, of 40 acres and a more. The Freemans aren't merely defending land, they're also defending their legacy, for the future and for the next generation. But the film plays with so many different themes so cleverly. It's got claustrophobia, not just physically within the farm's boundaries, but emotionally within the family unit. The outside world is dangerous, but so is the psychological trauma and the toll that it's going. But the tone and style of this film, the director Raz Cunningham crafts a film that's so deliberately tense and atmospheric, but it's also such an intimate film. I watched it here. I was typing away on my screen, and I had it on the second screen, and I had to stop typing to watch this film because I felt as if the film was just for me. It was that good. The pacing, it's a very, very slow burning film, punctured by brief, shocking violence, but it's not overly done. It's there to tell a story, which I love. You know, the cinematography of it. The farm feels beautiful, but it's also so tragic. As I said, the sound design, it's minimal. High every single creak, rustle, distant sound is heightened, and they only use music in a very small way as part of the story. And the performances are the actors and actresses involved. You've got Deadweiler, she carries this film. And then you've got Grey Eyes, and the young cast bring such a subtle warmth and tension. You know that it's amazing. The RT Fawn, who plays Emmanuel, he's going to be going places. What I've seen of him in other films, this is such a starring role, and it's brilliant, and I'm very excited about this film. I kind of almost hope there's a sequel to this film, because I enjoyed it so much, and I would recommend everyone going to watch this film. It's very much like the themes of The Road, Quiet Place, The World You Leave Behind. It kind of sits in the very, very same emotional space as that. It's a family drama, but it's wearing the skin of survival thriller, and I really like these type of intense films. Um, it's it's not a film that's about how many people get offed, but how people live with themselves in a world that wants to strip them of humanity. And I just really recommend this film to people. It wasn't the film that I thought it was going to be. From when I got the synopsis, I didn't think it was going to be this type of film. But I'm so glad I watched it, and I'm definitely going to be getting to watch it and hopefully get it on digital download when it comes out. So yes, go watch it. Enjoy, and thank you very much for Vertigo for sending it to us. It was a great opportunity, and I'm really glad that you've sent it to us. So make sure you go watch it when it's cinema release on the 1st of August, and it's on digital download on the 4th of August. So until next time, keep your hearts full and your fandoms fierce.